So how big is this skills issue in the Australian mining right now around skills and skill shortages?
So it's significant and it's structural. So skill shortages have increased from around 34% of roles in shortage, and in the last couple of years, it's increased to over 60%, right? And that makes mining actually one of the most affected industries in the country. And in critical roles, like, for example, mining engineers, the fill rates are sitting around at 42%. Also, then compound the fact that age-wise, there is a significant number of people who are going close to retirement. For example, 35% of safety coordinators and lead drillers are now retirement eligible right now.
I mean, that's slightly terrifying, all of that data that you've just shared. So what is going to drive new entrants? Like what do you think is going to change, or what needs to change to drive new entrants into this industry?
I think one of the challenges is there's a real perception problem, right? And I mean, research shows that half of the young people associate mining primarily with environmental damage. I think the other thing is a lot of people don't understand that the nature of jobs in this industry has changed quite dramatically, that there is so many more technology-driven jobs than exist before. So, it's more about the automation and the maintenance of very sophisticated automation equipment. That's a challenge for the sector. And the other is that there is certain cohorts that can't or won't consider a fly-in, fly-out sort of job scope. This industry, like so many other industries, needs to do is think about how do we identify what skills we actually need, and of the pool of people that are available now, what can we do to target them to basically then upskill them.
Mm.
But you need to have visibility of their skills to be able to do that.
Why do you think training systems are not responding appropriately? What's structurally happening there?
Look, I mean, I think apart from the fact that speed is an issue, like how long it takes to design a new framework, new process,
Mm.
there's also a fundamental constraint in the fact that the capital equipment that is used in these mines is extraordinarily specialized and expensive.
Yeah.
Typically, a piece of equipment costs between $5 and $8 million, and that means that, for example, your traditional training providers, they simply don't have access to that. So while they might be training on something that might be a few generations behind, or they simply don't have access to the same sorts of environments that are needed in the workplace. And so there's a bit of a mismatch in that, you might have a trained person, but can they actually be fully job ready in the workplace when they've probably not been trained on the same level or sophistication of equipment that they're going to face? Some of these challenges of how do we basically think about it, not more from an employer going down to an individual and upskilling, but more about basically from an individual point of view, how do we recognize what all of their skills are? So you're building the whole pool bigger is what we're going to need to do to really address some of these, because the workforce constraint is going to hold us back from opportunity.